Good evening and welcome back. I'm glad you're here today. Whether you're starting your day with this message or winding down this Sunday evening, I believe this moment is intentional. Sundays give us space to reset, to reflect, and to realign ourselves before stepping into a new week. Over the past couple of Sundays, we've been building something together. The first message was about not rushing what God is building, learning to trust His timing even when life doesn't move as fast as we want it to. Then last week we talked about walking while it's still being built, learning how to move forward even when everything isn't finished, even when life feels incomplete. But today, we're stepping into what might be the hardest part of the journey. Because it's one thing to be patient, it's one thing to take a step forward, but it's another thing entirely to keep going when it gets hard. Today's message is simple, but it's powerful. Angst don't quit in the middle. The beginning is exciting. The middle is testing. Every journey starts with excitement. When something is new, there's energy, there's vision. There's a sense that something is about to change. You feel motivated, you feel focused, you feel ready. But that feeling doesn't last forever. Because after the beginning comes the middle. And the middle doesn't feel like the beginning. The middle feels slower, it feels quieter, it feels uncertain. It feels like you're putting in effort without seeing results. It feels like showing up without recognition. It feels like doing the work without knowing if it's actually working. And that's where most people lose. Not because they don't have purpose, not because they don't have potential, but because they weren't prepared for the middle. They were ready for the start. They were dreaming about the finish. They didn't realize that the middle is where the real work happens. The middle reveals who you really are. The beginning shows your excitement. The ending shows your reward. But the middle reveals your strength. The middle is where your discipline is tested. It's where your consistency is challenged. It's where your faith is stretched. It's where you show up when nobody is watching. It's where you keep going when you don't feel like it. It's where you continue moving forward, even when there's no applause, no validation, no immediate results. And what feels like frustration is often formation. Because God isn't just trying to get you somewhere, He's shaping you into someone. The middle is not wasted time. The middle is where you are being built into the person who can handle what's ahead. When it gets quiet, one of the hardest parts of the middle is the silence. In the beginning, everything feels loud. There's excitement, confirmation, clarity. But in the middle, it can feel quiet. No big signs, no clear answers, no obvious breakthroughs. And when it gets quiet, your mind starts to wander. You start questioning yourself. You start questioning your decisions. You start wondering if you missed something or if you're even on the right path. Did I make the wrong move? Is this really working? Is God still with me in this? But silence doesn't mean absence. Just because you don't hear anything doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes God is quiet because He's working in ways you can't see yet. Sometimes He's aligning things behind the scenes. Sometimes He's protecting you from something you don't even know is coming. Sometimes He's building something inside of you that can't be rushed or forced. What feels like silence? It's often strategy. Pressure doesn't mean you're failing. The middle also comes with pressure. Pressure to figure things out. Pressure to keep going. Pressure to not fall behind. Pressure to prove that what you're doing is worth it. And when that pressure builds, it's easy to assume something is wrong. But pressure doesn't always mean failure. Sometimes pressure means growth. Think about how muscles grow. They don't grow in comfort. They grow under resistance, grow under strain, grow when they're pushed beyond what feels easy. And in the same way, your life is being strengthened under pressure. The weight you feel right now might not be there to break you. It might be there to build you. Consistency is the secret. There's something simple that doesn't get talked about enough. Consistency, not motivation, not inspiration. Hype, consistency. Showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it. Doing the work, even when it's not exciting. Staying committed, even when it's not convenient. Because breakthroughs are often hidden inside consistency. People who make it through the middle are not always the most talented, not always the most gifted. They're not always the most prepared. They are the ones who kept showing up. And sometimes the difference between success and quitting is just one more day of showing up. You're closer than you think. One of the most dangerous moments in the middle is when you feel like nothing is working, because that's when people quit. They walk away too soon. They give up too early. They stop just before things begin to shift because they can't see how close they are. You don't always feel progress when it's happening. You don't always see results immediately. You don't always recognize growth while you're in it. But that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Sometimes you are one step away from a breakthrough. One decision away from a shift. One moment away from things coming together, but you'll never know if you quit in the middle. This week's shift, so as you step into this new week, I want you to carry this mindset with you. When it gets hard, keep going. When it feels slow, keep going. When you start questioning everything, keep going. Not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because you understand that the middle is part of the process. Stay committed, stay consistent, stay in it, because the middle is not where your story ends. It's where your strength is developed. In closing, if the first message was about patience, the second was about movement, then this message is about endurance. You don't need to rush. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to keep going, because God is still building. You're still walking. Your story is still unfolding. So whatever you do this week, no matter how it feels, no matter how slow it seems, don't quit in the middle. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message spoke to you, encouraged you, or reminded you of something you needed to hear, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might be in the middle of their journey right now. And if you haven't already, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps this message reach more people who are trying to keep going even when it's hard. And as always, see you next time.